We're going to talk a little about ObjectDock. It's a animated dock for Windows put out by Stardock. It's fairly inexpensive. I think the full version runs around $20. What that program ObjectDock does is let you put menus, dock them to the sides of your screen. It comes with a few what they call docklets, which are little mini programs like this weather docklet and the clock docklet and a calendar docklet that I've got set up to pull up to my calendar. I've also got a lot of frequently used programs that I access over here. All of my remote connections to my other computers I can access over here on the right side of my screen. The paid version of the program has a tab dock that also lets you put in some flyout menus like this, or you can just put your shortcuts in on different tab pages. And you can set these to where you want these to fly out when you hit the screen, or if they stay on top of other programs or whatever. They got a lot of different settings. Basically, I'm really impressed with this program. There's only a few things that they need to do a little work on. One of them is when you first install the program, it automatically sets an auto start for Windows to start when Windows starts. You can do your own research on that and test it, but on all my systems I put it on, it causes anywhere from 2 to 5 minute delay in starting your system. I've read other stuff about it on the internet, doing the same thing to other people. Stardock doesn't seem to think it's a problem. They said that's unusual behavior. However, I put it on 4 or 5 computers and it does the same thing to every one of them. An i7, for instance, this computer starts normally in 20 seconds. If I have it loaded startup here with ObjectDock, it'll put it to about 2 minutes 30 seconds to start. So to get around that problem, just uncheck the load at startup here. And then I've got the batch file that I normally run to log onto my network drives. So I just put a simple code in here where after I'm at my network drives, I wait another 3 seconds, and then I change my directory to my ObjectDock Plus directory, and then I start ObjectDock. Doing it this way keeps controlling this batch file so that it can exit. It doesn't lose focus by starting ObjectDock. Anyway, starting object this way instead of letting it start with when Windows very first starts, it only adds I don't know, maybe 15 seconds to the start time. Another thing that the program has a few problems with, it's not a big problem, but occasionally it'll lose shortcut icons. And that's for one or two reasons. One possible reason is if you do a Google search on ObjectDock loses icon on the very first posting here, there's a guy here that's says if you remove this key here, it'll kind of fix that problem, and it does fix part of the problem. The other thing is, well, give me a second. For instance, I know this particular program that I have, Subtitle Cleaner. If I just go drop it in here on the menu somewhere, it put it there, but the icon is not showing. This doesn't happen very often at all. It's very rare. I'm assuming that this program is so old that, or the icon that it's using is non-standard in some way. So you can replace that icon by change this icon shortcut and picking another icon for it. This is the icon it's supposed to have, however it doesn't display for some reason. So if you just go put another icon on it, then that'll fix that. These gaps here are separators. You can't see the separator, but you can move them around and drop them. To remove something from here, you can either do a remove icon, or you can just grab it and pull it off the menu and drop it and make it disappear. I'm going to pull up one of my development computers that I use to test stuff on to show you how to do some of the things here with ObjectDock. As you can see, I got a bunch of, like everybody else's screen, they got icons all over the place. So we're going to start ObjectDock. And I've already got some menu items on here. I've already dropped some favorites and the programs that I use a lot down here, and I've got most of this one here filled out. My left and right docks I have empty, and I've currently got them set where they stay out all the time. It makes it easier to put icons in it where you're setting it up. So if we go to where I have predefined some menus, like my left menu here, I keep a lot of shortcuts in it here, and you can either drag and drop them directly off the screen into a menu, or you can pull them out of a Explorer. In this case, since I've already got them defined, it's easy just to drag them. See if I can hit this right. Now, you usually have to resort everything after you get it in there, but it ain't no big deal. My right menu over here, you can do the same thing with it. Now I'm going to move these around a little bit, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I rearranged these a little bit, and I put in some separators to separate some of my stuff. I don't particularly care for this icon, so I'm going to change it. First time you save an icon, you can go search your hard drive here, or you can look at what they've already come with the program. And the first time you save an icon, it creates this user directory. So I want to use this. So I changed that icon, and then this one is a batch loaded from a batch file, I think, so it doesn't have an icon associated with it normally. So we're going to do the same thing, and then I'm going to do the same thing for these down here. Now I've got those changed. And you notice I've got separators in between certain groups, like all these down here. Well, it doesn't matter why I did it. You can just do it if you want to. You can't see the separator, but if you grab it with your left mouse button, you can drag it and move it. And I did the same thing over here. Another way to put separators in is if you're in your configuration utility, select the right dock here, or let's use the tab dock up there, and here add a new separator, and you can see it adds and puts them in there, and it'll push it off the screen. And then you can resize these by making them wider just by clicking and dragging them, or you can move the whole dock around. If you've got too many separators in there, you can just grab one and pull it off the dock. Either using your configuration utility or right click on here and pull up your, let's add a whole new tab, and we'll have a choice of making a regular tab, a folder tab, a taskbar tab, or a system tray tab. A regular tab would be just like these. Well, in our test tab here, if we do an add and use a docklet for a flyout menu, test or whatever, and then go pick a folder. In this case, I'm going to use one of my left menu over here. So we just created a flyout menu that will display the contents of that particular folder. Then you can add regular shortcuts. Or you can just grab them off your screen and drag them in. If I go to my left dock over here and change my accessibility, I'll put it back into auto hide so that they'll disappear now that I'm done with them. Anyway, that's basically fairly simple to work with, and when you get done, you can get rid of all these shortcuts that you don't need anymore. Makes it a little bit neater.